Please be quiet.
A pleasant morning to everyone gathered here. SBIOA Educational Trust cordially welcomes you to Ignite Fest 2015. We are proud and honored to have our moderator, Dr. Sheila, Principal of TI School, Ambattur. Eminent speaker, Mr. R. Mohan, Resident Editor, Deccan Chronicles, Chennai Edition, is here to speak on the missing puzzle piece in education. We have another great speaker, Mr. C.P. Vishwanathan, Director, Kardi Path, to talk about Learn, Innovate and Explore. We are proud to have a student, Ms. Annapurni of SRM College, to speak on education, an instrument of instilling passion. Our moderator for today's morning session is Dr. Sheila Raghavan, who is the principal of TI School, Ambattur. She believes in creating an environment for subliminal learning through the process of immersion in which various concepts, information, data, etc. are displayed at various locations in the school. Her workshops on critical thinking and
delegates for a nationwide train journey called Jagriti, aiming at building India through enterprise. The floor is all yours, Annapurni, for your presentation. Her topic is education, an instrument for instilling passion.
A very good morning to all of you present here. Can I have a good morning back? People told me children are most happy on a Sunday morning. I can have a energetic good morning. Okay, so my presentation today is on the topic education as an instrument for instilling passion. Okay, so all of you have been given a white sheet of paper. Can you all raise it so that I know everyone's got it? Perfect. So all you have to do is follow my instructions. Now, what you have to do is, I'll be telling you a few instructions and you have to follow them while keeping your eyes closed. Can you all do that? Yes, no? Okay, I have a problem. I'm hard of hearing, so you have to be really energetic and loud that, you know, you're going to be participating in my activities, okay? So can I get a yes from everybody? Perfect. So, everyone keep your paper in your hand and close your eyes. And no cheating. Say done when you're all closed your eyes. Done? Perfect. So, first, once your eyes are closed, fold your papers diagonally. It's okay if it's not a perfect diagonal. Just keep your eyes closed. Okay? I can see some people with their eyes open. Eyes open, not allowed. Keep your eyes closed. Fold your paper diagonally. Okay? Everybody done? Okay, I'm not going to ask every time. Once you do it, just say done. Okay? Done? Perfect. So now tear a small piece of paper such that it makes a hole. Okay? Tear a small piece of paper such that it makes a hole on that diagonal. Done? You have to be faster because I don't have so much time. Okay? Everybody done? Perfect. So now fold the paper vertically. Fold the paper vertically. It's okay if you can't see. Fold the paper vertically and make 3 holes. Tear small pieces to make 3 holes on it. I can see your eyes open, closed. Done? 3 holes. It shouldn't take so much time. 3 holes. Everyone done? Done? Perfect. Now fold it horizontally and make 2 holes on it. Done? Okay, and just now the last instruction is cut out a corner. Whichever you think is a corner, just cut it out. Any one corner. It's a square, it's a rectangle sheet, cut out one corner. Done? Okay. So now, open the paper, all its folds, and keep it above your head and open your eyes. Okay? So, if you all notice, look around, everybody has a different pattern. Okay? There are about 700 students here, and not any 2 people will have the same pattern. Okay? This is basically conducted to prove that how individually beautiful and unique each and every one of you is. Okay? In India, most of the students take up a same career path, okay? When I was in 12th standard, my mother told me, take up engineering because, okay, all our mothers have a friend called Radha, right? It's just like a very Tamil common name to have a friend called Radha. And because her son took up engineering and is very successful, you also do that, okay? I was not asked why I should take it up, whether I like it or not. I was made to take it up, okay? Nobody told me, I'm good at this, do this, okay? Nobody told me I'm perfect as an individual, I'm born to do something different, okay? Hence, I took up engineering and I was a part of the crowd. The activity I wanted to do here is called Be Unique. Next. The activity I wanted to do here is called Be Unique. And the unique is spelled in a different way here. Next. Next. It's spelled Y-O-U, okay? Be unique. Be yourself, okay? If you want to pursue education as an instrument for passion, you have to first believe and be yourself. Next. Okay, so what exactly is education? I mean, mostly when I think of education and I asked a lot of students what is education, everybody told me it's schools, okay? And it's textbooks and it's, classrooms. No, that's not education. That's a part of education. Education is knowledge plus experiment, okay? You knew all of you are different. All of you know that you all are different. No 5 fingers are the same is something that our parents tell us each and every day, okay? But then, all of you knew that, you had that knowledge. What this experiment did is just prove to you that you're different. So right now, you just got educated about being different, okay? Next. Okay, so what is this passion and why should one pursue this passion and why is everybody all of a sudden talking about it? I mean, it was not there all these days and suddenly in the newspapers and ads and career counselors, everybody's talking about passion. What is passion? Okay, so at the risk of being really, motivated by engineering and being an engineering student, I found an equation. It's 3P plus M, okay? What are these 3 Ps, okay? Play, passion, pursue, and mentor. What is play, okay? So, play for me is experimenting new avenues, okay? What are you right now? 16, 17-year-olds, okay? How much have you experimented, okay? I could be an Olympic level discus throw champion, but I don't know it because I've not tried discus throw, okay? I don't know whether I'm good at hockey because I've never played it, okay? So it's never too late to try out new things, okay? Always motivate yourself to try new things out because unless and until you don't try it out, you won't know whether you're good at it or you're best at it. Like if Sachin Tendulkar hadn't tried cricket, we wouldn't have such a legendary player in our country. So for this, I have 2 examples, okay? Both these examples have inspired me a lot. First is Mr. Pranay Roy. Okay, how many of you know Pranay Roy? Anybody who can raise their hand and tell me who is Pranay Roy? Yes, sir. Yeah, NDTV. Yeah. News editor. Yeah, perfect. So what he did in his life is I read his book. So I know he was from Doon School, Dehradun, and he went on to pursue British Chartered Accountancy, okay, in London. And after that, he came to India and he was in the Planning Commission for a while as a financial advisor. And then he realized that he didn't want to do it, okay? Then he went to Delhi School of Economics and pursued economics. So CA, finance, okay, and economics, okay? And then he realized he doesn't want to do that either, okay? And he sat home for a month, and what he did is do what he loved doing. He loved watching elections, okay? I love watching elections. How many of you like watching elections? Okay. So, I mean, he realized that's his passion. He loved watching elections. So he wrote a book called India Decides, and it was a hit. And after that, he started the very famous news channel we all know as NDTV, okay? New Delhi Television, okay? So he started that. And now he's very happy. Not only is he successful, he's also happy. The next example I have is Miss Sushmita Mohanty, okay? I'm pretty sure not a lot of people would know her. Does anyone know her? Okay. She is one of India's only spacecraft architect, okay? So now, most of you would be thinking, what is a spacecraft architect? I mean, I don't even know that kind of a career existed, okay? So what she did is, I had an opportunity to meet her, and I was like, that's a very unique field to take up. And she told me, I loved architecture, and I loved space. I thought I could do something with it, and I took spacecraft architecture, and she designs the interior and the exterior of major spacecrafts that are, passed by ISRO. So you can be anything you want to be, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Passion, okay, the second P that we are talking about. Be multidisciplinary, okay? So I read somewhere that a person was really average at art and really good at humor, okay? And he didn't know what to do, because there's no point taking an art degree because you're just average at it, and there is no degree in humor, okay? Come on, nobody gives you a degree for being funny. So what he did is he became one of the leading cartoonists in India, okay? He combined both his passions and became a cartoonist. He was average at art and good at humor, okay? Next. Okay, so this is called, my next game is called the purpose game, okay? So you have to be more excited than the Be Unique game. I mean, I want all your A game in, okay? So when I ask you something, you're supposed to reply together. I'll say 1, 2, 3, and at the end of 3, you're supposed to reply together. And I promise you, by the end of this game, you would know what you want to do, okay? So let's have a trial run. Which school do you belong to? 1, 2, 3. Perfect, okay? A little more energy, fine? So there are 4 questions that I'll ask you, okay? And you have to reply together. First thing that comes to your mind, it's okay if it's not really mature, it's okay if it's not perfect. First thing that comes to your mind, okay? So, first question, what is your first name? 1, 2, 3. Okay, and second question, what do you love to do? 1, 2, 3. Okay, and who do you want to do it for? 1, 2, 3. Okay, and last question, why do you want to do it? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now combine all 4 together. For example, Annupurni, that's me, I'm Annupurni. I like talking, like giving speeches. For whom? School children. Why do I want to do it? Because I want to change India. That's my 4, okay? So everybody got it? All of you are going to do it for me? Okay? So at the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that didn't work out. I'm not going to accept it till it's perfect, okay? So I'll give my example again. I'm Annupurni. What do I like doing? I like giving speeches. To whom? To school children. Why? Because I want to change India, okay? So at the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Whatever you said, it's for yourself to know, okay? Not for me to know. So at least what you decided is that your name is this. It's going to remain that way for the rest of your life. You're going to you love doing this. you want to do it for so and so, and why you want to do it. Perfect? Next. Okay, so those were the 3 P's, okay? Now what is the M? M is Oh Captain, My Captain. How many of you have watched the Dead Poets Society? It's a very famous movie. Okay, so what you need to do is find a mentor, okay? How do I find a mentor? There are a lot of people who are interested in telling you about the future. They're ready to help you out, okay? So, like Harry Potter found Albus Dumbledore, I'm pretty sure you all can find a magnificent and a mighty mentor. Maybe there won't be so much magic involved, but I'm definitely sure your life will become magical if you find a mentor. So what we did is we 3 friends, we started this organization called The Climber, whose logo you can see. So what we did, we started this online mentorship program. So one of our friends was really interested in astrophysics, and he was studying at Glasgow University. And his parents hadn't allowed, and he had gone, rebuttal, and he'd gone and he had started taking part in Glasgow competitions, and he got admission there. And he realized that the Indian parents don't allow for such things because they say that there's no scope, there's no future. So what he did is he helped us start this mentorship program. Next. So we started this mentorship program where a college student would help school and other college students pursue a passion in the following things. Okay? So we have right now astronomy, MUN, creative writing, entrepreneurship, robotics, finance, and French, okay? So we have about 10 courses, and with each course, every month we get 20 new, excited, enthusiastic students every month because they want to find a mentor, okay? Every one of us needs an Albus Dumbledore to become a Harry Potter. Next. Okay, so you all know him, right? Yes or no? Okay? Who did you like more in the movie? Amir Khan or this guy? Amir Khan, right? Why? Because he was different. He had the courage to stand out. This person, on the other hand, was following the rat race. Okay? So don't be a rat in the rat race. Okay? Next. You know him? Barney Stinson, everybody knows him. So he has a very simple thing, okay? To succeed, you have to stop being ordinary and you have to start being legendary. Legend, wait for it, Derry, to be very honest. So you have to stop thinking that I'm average at maths. Find out what you're amazing at and pursue that, okay? It's okay if you're average at maths, okay? Are you great at writing? Are you great at something else? Give yourself that chance to experiment every day. All of you make a promise today that you will try one new thing every week. Even if it's sitting on a horse for 1 hour, try it. What's the harm, okay? You'll fall, you'll get injured, you'll dust yourself and get up again, okay? So have that courage to try out something new each and every week. That's a small task that I'm giving you all. And I believe that if you do it during your school years, you will pretty sure be, very confident that I want to do this. Or whatever you're doing, you'll be happy with it. Video. Volume. Volume.
What would you like to do if money were no object?
Starting in the beginning.
How would you really enjoy spending your life?
From the beginning. 4 seconds.
What do you desire? What makes you itch? What sort of a situation would you like? So I always ask the question, what would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Well, it's so amazing. As a result of our kind of educational system, crowds of students say, well, we'd like to be painters, we'd like to be poets, we'd like to be writers, but as everybody knows, you can't earn any money that way. Or another person says, well, I'd like to live an out-of-doors life and ride horses. I said, you want to teach in a riding school? Let's go through with it. What do you want to do? When we finally got down to something which the individual says he really wants to do, I will say to him, you do that. And forget the money. Because if you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living, that is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way.
Okay, so I would like to end my speech with this particular quote that I read at Pursuit of Happiness. Okay, don't ever let someone tell you that you can't do something. Not even me. You got a dream, you got to protect it. When people can't do something, they will tell you you can't do it either. You want something, go get it. Period. Okay? Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Annapurni. It was a totally different perspective to education. Three major factors which came up through Annapurni's demonstration. The first one was, all of us are unique and very beautiful people, very different. Very effectively, she brought about the fact that knowledge becomes a reality only when we experiment. And only then it starts making sense to each one of us. And all of us need to pursue our passion. That's what is true happiness. Beautifully done, Annapurni. Any questions to Annapurni, please? She's asked you to do so many things. For a change, you can ask her a few questions. The silence clearly indicates, to a certain extent at least, that they are quite clear about what you said. Let's hope. All the best. Moving on to the next speaker today, Mr. R. Mohan. Mr. Mohan is India's leading cricket writers and presenters of cricket on the web and regional television. He is the resident editor of Deccan Chronicles Chennai edition. For the last 10 years, Mr. Mohan has been one of the instrumental people behind the growth of the Deccan Chronicle. He still continues to write on current affairs in cricket and also contributes articles to various other sections of the newspaper. For 18 years, between 1979 and 1997, Mr. Mohan was the cricket correspondent of The Hindu and The Sports Star. He has reported live over 130 test matches. He is Wisden Almanac's Indian correspondent for the first Indian journalist to report test cricket from all 9 test playing countries. He has to his credit the honor of having reported live 4 World Cups from 1983 to 1996 for The Hindu and in 1999 for the United News of India. Eagerly awaiting to hear about the missing puzzle piece in education, sir. The floor is all yours.
Good morning to everyone, those on the dais and the school children, the parents, teachers, everyone. We heard Annapurni speak at length today. I think it was quite fascinating. In fact, I wanted to say many of the things that she said. But let me try and stick to what the topic they had given me was this big puzzle in education. But I thought life itself is a puzzle. So I've been trying to solve it for the last 65 years or so. And probably I haven't cracked it yet. But how many of you here play cricket? Okay, all the boys, of course. And how many of you like cricket? Well, there you have a total mix of everyone loves cricket in India. So it's a kind of religion. So when I was your age, say 15, 16, I was a student of Don Bosco School in Egmore. And pretty, I would say, top of the class student. I was the top ranker in school, leaving it in 1967. That's way, way back. So why I'm telling you all this, I hate to speak about myself, but why I'm telling you all this is, I'm trying to make either an example or a warning of my life to you. The first thing that when I stepped out of school, because I was supposed to be a bright kid, I had the scholarships, I had any career to choose, and naturally at home, people pushed me into engineering. In those times, in the 60s, chemical engineering was the big thing. We hadn't gone into the computer or the information technology age yet, so manufacturing was still the big thing, and everyone was sort of, all the brightest kids went into chemical engineering, so my family said, you go into chemical engineering. So I went into AC College of Technology, got a seat there, and started studying. I mean, I went through almost 4 years, 4.5 years out of 5, without my heart really being in what I was studying. I mean, I was good at it. I knew math, I knew science, I could pick up things. So I was not a bad student, a bad engineering student, but my heart was not in it. My passion was cricket, and I used to write about it even when I was in school, used to write about it when I was in college. Then I said, if I'm going to look for anything in life, it's going to be something to do with cricket. And so I wasn't a great player. I wasn't a Sunil Gavaskar or a Kapil Dev. I couldn't get into the Indian team. I could hardly get into the university team, which I tried. So, the next best thing I thought is, can I start writing about cricket in a professional way? So I approached the Hindu newspaper through my family, looking for the specific job of, can I write cricket for the newspaper? They said, it's not that easy. You got to qualify, you got to learn, you got to be an apprentice, and then we'll think about it. So I went into it full time, threw my heart into it, studied, read every cricket article I could get hold of. In those times, it wasn't easy. Today you have the internet, you can read anything about any subject in the world for hours on end, for your whole lifetime. But in those days, it wasn't easy. We had to go to all the libraries, look up the books, buy the newspapers, read them, read up everything on cricket. And then finally I got my break. The Hindu thought I was good enough to go start reporting test match cricket. So which I started doing actually in pretty early in my career in 1975. Within a year of joining, I had started reporting bits of test match cricket for them. And from there I became the cricket correspondent, toured the world about 5 times. I went everywhere. I went to Australia in 1980, and then everywhere that the Indian cricket team went. I mean, this is a kind of dream job that you can think of, I mean, people like Sunil Gavaskar, Kapil Dev, they're all heroes to the world. And to me, they were friends. I used to stay in the same hotel, mix with them, spend the evenings with them, get to know them really well as human beings. I could see the people behind the image. So that was the advantage I had. I had very, very close friends. I knew Sachin Tendulkar even before he played his first match for India. He was when he came out as a 16-year-old kid with us to Pakistan in 1989. I knew him from then. And you could make out from day one that he was a champion, that he was going to achieve something phenomenal. You could see that straight away in him. So he was another kid who only thought cricket, nothing else. I mean, I don't believe he ever finished his school until very much later in his career. I mean, when he was 24 or 25, he went back, took his exams and passed it, to at least to have to say that, he was qualified for college. So he was that kind of a kid. Cricket was everything to him. I mean, it came naturally to him. He had the talent, and he's gone, as you have seen his career flower, bloom, and then, he's finally retired from the game. But he was another person who was pursuing his passion. So this is probably what you people will have to look at, as Annapurna explained very well, that you have to look at, as Steve Jobs is another person who made a very great example of this. He said, you got to find what you love. And that's what he did. He started a company called Apple. In 10 years, they threw him out of the company because, of certain business reasons. He was out of the company. Then he went out. He started another company called Next Computers. Then he bought a company called Pixar. He just kept pursuing his passion. Okay, he had a lot of money because it was America, the land of opportunity. He had made money already. He used that to start new companies. But it wasn't until about 2007 when he when he brought the iPod out that he had really succeeded in life. But then, since then, in the last 8 years, I mean, whatever he did, he died 3 years ago. But in the time between 2007 and 2010, when the iPad came out, he changed the world. He changed the world, how it thinks, how it works, how it moves. The devices he made were all things of beauty. And he was a guy who if you, I'm sorry. There was one speech he made in Stanford in 2005 when he knew he had cancer, that he was dying, and they had asked him to speak in a convocation like this at Stanford. And he came and explained to them, he said very much the same thing. He said, I'm a school dropout. I'm a college dropout. Went into college, didn't like the subjects. I took a few subjects which I liked, I went to them. How he didn't want to exhaust his parents' money. So all he did was, he didn't attend classes. He attended only those that he liked. He didn't go to every class, every standard from 9 to 5, that kind of an education. Then he went out, he just had a dream. He had a dream that he could make better devices for human beings than anybody else. And then he made that. I mean, he made the iPad, which has absolutely changed the world, the way the world works, in everything, from medicine, from astronautics, from anything you can think of, there is an application for the iPad that he has made. So that's the kind of success he achieved. And he said the most important thing in life is to find what you love. And then there are two things that he said. He said, stay hungry, stay foolish. Those are the two great dictums that he left behind, was stay hungry and stay foolish. When he meant stay hungry, he said, to pursue things, to pursue knowledge, to pursue everything in life, your happiness. That's what he meant when he said stay hungry. And stay foolish in the sense that you try to find yourself in life. All your life. It's a puzzle. As they say, life is a puzzle, but you keep on trying to solve it. And one way to do it is to try to find your inner self. Before you leave school, you must have some idea of what you like to do best. As Annapurni explained, that you have to try everything new almost like every week. Like today is International Yoga Day. So if you try out some yoga today, maybe you'll have learned something. So that way, every week if you try something, you'll probably you'll have a very clear idea, or at least half an idea of what you want to do in life. And today, the possibilities are immense. It's not like in the old days when I passed out, there were very few options. Either you went into engineering or you went into BCom, which is probably the second choice then, or there was a little bit of, you could study science. I had friends who went into literature, but they were probably pursuing their passion by going into literature, or maybe that's all the marks they got, so they got those courses. So the important thing in life, as I realized when I was touring the world, living in a dream job, really working in a dream job, I said there are three things in life that define life, three qualities. One is money, another is success, and the third is happiness. So some jobs, you don't get all three in the same proportion. I'm a journalist and very poorly paid, so I was never going to be rich in my life. So I said, okay, I've sacrificed some money, what do I get in return? So maybe I got a little bit of fame. Millions of people knew my name without having seen my face. They knew my name in those days. Generations of students grew up reading the cricket that I wrote, the reports that I wrote, and they still call me, people from IITs, from many people I meet in the world. They remember the name, they link it, and then they say, oh yes, we used to read your articles. So that was something. I had a little bit of fame, but a lot of happiness. So maybe that's where the compensation really lay, that I was happy in what I was doing. Until, of course, I got kicked upstairs, as they say, and I got this job of running the whole newspaper rather than just the cricket part or the sports part. I got this job, the big job of being the editor of the whole newspaper. So I grabbed it. I thought I was qualified for it because I'd put in my time, I'd put in years of hard work. So maybe this is something I could succeed at, and I've been trying for the last 10 years to crack that puzzle. So I'm not certain yet that I've really cracked what is the real puzzle of life. But the thing is to think, to keep on thinking. The more you think, the more you read, the more knowledge you gain, the more you know about yourself. You need not know the world because it's so difficult nowadays. The world is such a wide world today. I mean, they call it the global village, but it's not that really. It's really grown. So the immense possibilities in this world today are all open for you as students. You'll be out of school in a couple of years and going on to college. But as everyone advises you, please make sure that you choose something that will interest you, that you would love doing. And next time when you're on the internet, just go down and try and trace the speech by Steve Jobs at Stanford on June 14, 2005. It's pretty easy. Just put it on search and you'll get the speech. It's not very long. You'll probably read it up in, it's about 3 pages. So you'll read it in 5 or 7 minutes, and you'll learn a lot more about life reading Steve Jobs than reading many textbooks. So I would definitely advise you to read that speech, to know what is life, and to keep on trying to find what you love best. That's the best advice that I can give you with my experience. And I wish all of you all the very best in your careers in the years to come. And I hope you'll all be leading and upright citizens of India tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mohan. Hearing to you, the very fact which comes to light is one of the most important missing pieces in education is passion. So at least today, let's start seriously our inward journey where each of us try to identify what our passion is. Because whatever we do with a lot of passion, generally we tend to be very successful. Any questions to Mr. Mohan? Boys, your questions can also be on cricket, I think. At least we'll be able to hear them then. Right. Okay, then thank you. Moving on to the next speaker. Mr. C.P. Vishwanathan. Mr. C.P. Vishwanath, a multifaceted personality, an educator, musician, entrepreneur. Previously, he helmed the international business of one of India's premier engineering companies, having incubated their operations in USA, Russia, and South Africa. He is the co-founder of Karadi Tales Company Private Limited, one of India's most acclaimed names in the list of creators of children's content. He is the co-founder and CEO of Karadi Path Education Company Private Limited, for the path breakers in language learning pedagogy. Mr. Vishwanath is a co-creator of Karadi Path, an initiative which is changing the way English is taught in classrooms, especially to the first generation English learners. He is the director of pedagogy of Isha Vidya Rural Schools, which currently runs 6 schools across Tamil Nadu, serving the rural and tribal children. Mr. Vishwanath is an accomplished Carnatic vocalist and mridangist with over 1,000 performances to his credit. His writings on education and music have been widely featured in the press, a speaker and panelist at major conferences and on television. Over to Mr. Vishwanath for his views on Learn, Innovate and Explore.
Good morning. Vanakkam and Namaste. Can we all do Namaste together? Namaste. I am going to tell you 2 stories. And I am also going to give you a maths problem. So which do you like, the stories or the problem? Okay. Since most of you said stories, I am going to start with the problem. Now this is a 4th standard arithmetic problem. There is nothing more than 4th standard level arithmetic that you need to solve this problem that I'm going to tell you. So listen carefully. 44% of mangoes in a basket are bad. 44% of mangoes in a basket are bad. What is the fraction of good mangoes? 44% of the mangoes in a basket are bad. What is the fraction of good mangoes? Can you try to work it out in your head, please? 14 by? (14 by 25) is correct. I heard 2 or 3 voices give me the correct answer. So those of you who got 14 by 25, you got it right. Now the second question, as a follow-up. What is the ratio of good mangoes to bad mangoes? Good mangoes to bad mangoes. What is the ratio? I'm hearing the same voice giving the answer. What about the rest of you out there? 14:11 is correct. Okay. Now comes the third question. If the total number of mangoes in the basket is 150, what is the number of good mangoes? If the total number of mangoes in the basket is 150, what is the number of good mangoes? $84 is correct. Very good. Give yourselves a big hand. I think you got all three questions right. Now, obviously, what is the purpose of my asking you a fourth standard problem standing out here? Is that when you learned these three lessons on fractions, ratios, percentages, when you were in fourth or fifth or sixth standard, if I had given this problem to you in this manner, you would probably have really struggled to answer this. Yes or no? Yes or no? Can you recall how you were in fifth standard? Whether you would have been able to solve the problem if I had asked you like this? Would you have struggled with it? Yes or no? I need an answer from you. Okay. So what happened much later is that while this lesson was taught to you in fourth standard, as you continued to work with mathematics, as you continued to work with other aspects of mathematics, you started understanding the concepts better. Now the idea is that when we go to school today, all the things that you're learning in school, you may probably realize that pretty much everything you can find on Google, right? Everything that is being taught to you in the classroom is also there on Google. So the purpose of coming to school is not so much one of what the information that you're carrying, but the understanding that you take away from here. And this is something that we call critical thinking. Critical thinking basically means that you can marry concepts, you can take ideas from one place and work it with something else. And when you are confronted with a completely new problem, you can decide as to what aspects of your learning you need to apply in order to solve this kind of a problem. So now shall we come to the story? Story, yes or no? Okay. So once in a very large jungle, in some faraway place, the animals and the birds were having a lot of conflicts with each other. The animals were troubling the birds were troubling the animals. And so they all decided that we have had enough of this. And the birds said, let's go to war and just make our statement to the animals. The animals also felt that this has gone too far, and so let's also kind of gather our forces together and establish our domination over the birds. So the first question I have is, so both the animals and the birds, they started gathering together and they wanted to come to one central place, which is like the battlefield, like the Kurukshetra battlefield. On one side is the army of the birds, on the other side is the army of the animals. Do you think a battle can be fought? Can a battle be fought? Why not? So who do you think is the stronger army? Birds? Okay. Why do you think so? Have you seen cats that pounce up on leopards, pounce up on birds and catch them? Yes? So you have seen that actually animals can also catch birds. It's not only that the birds can catch animals. But once again, the idea here is, the more that you think about this, you will find that your first answer, which said that the birds are stronger, may actually not be correct. It could be correct or it could be wrong. But then there was one little incident that happened when the birds and animals were coming to the battlefield. When the birds were coming, they saw on top of a tree, they saw a bat hanging upside down. And the bird said, "Come join us, you are part of us. We must go to the battle." Now the bat this was during the day, and so the bat is half asleep. So the bat did not want to be part of this whole thing, so he just wanted to continue with sleep. So the bat said, "I am not a bird. And the animals, and the bird said, "Well, you have wings, you seem to have a beak, so you must be a bird." So the bat said, "No, I am not a bird." And then he showed them the fur on his body, and he showed them and he told them that I lay eggs. I don't lay eggs, I actually give birth to young ones, and I am not a bird. Now when the animals came, they also saw the bat, and they also asked the bat as to what it is. "Come join us, let's go together and let's fight the battle." What do you think the bat told them? He did not want to join. What did he show? His wings, right? So here is a bat that did not want to join either the animals or the birds. And this is something, the reason why we talk about this kinds of stories is, when you look at any of the ideas, you will find that they are interlinked very, very closely. And the more that you think about these kinds of ideas, you will find that there are ways to find excuses. You are all very good at finding excuses not to do something. So the bat was very, very creative with his excuse. But at the end of the day, when these animals actually got together, what happened was they decided that this battle is going to be futile, and so they did not go into the battle at all. And they decided that they will go back to their homes, and they had a party. And in the evening, the bat wanted to join the party, but he was neither bird nor animal, so he was excluded. Now, when we talk of all the things that you have done in your schooling, the learning processes that have happened, we would realize that there are people who are very, very good academically. Some students are very good academically. Some who may struggle from an academic standpoint. But there are ways in which each and every one of us, as the earlier speakers have already said, each and every one of us is created differently, and we learn differently. And there are ways in which we can take this learning forward in such a manner that even at work you can do the learning. And this is where I'll come to the third story that I want to tell you. So there was a man and a woman. They were married, they were a couple. And their first wedding anniversary was coming up. Both the husband and wife were educated. And the husband thought as to what anniversary gift can I get for my wife. He thought very hard, and finally he decided to buy a very, very modern vacuum cleaner. Now, he's a typical man, so he thought that a vacuum cleaner is the best present to get for my wife, even though the wife was an educated working wife. He came home and gave the vacuum cleaner to his wife. His wife graciously accepted it. It was evening, and the man opened the box with this vacuum cleaner. There are many parts, you have to assemble it and you have to put it together to use it. So he took out the manual, he started reading it and say, "How do I assemble this?" As he started putting it together, it was getting a little bit complicated, so he left it all there and he went off to bed. Next day morning, when the wife woke up, she saw that all the parts of the vacuum cleaner were lying around there. And he thought, how do I? So she also sat down and she tried to assemble it. She also looked at the manual. She's also educated, so she read it and she tried to put it all together. It was getting late for work, so she also dropped it. It was getting a little complicated, and she also went to work. Both husband and wife went off to work. During the day, a maidservant comes home and she cleans the place and goes. In the evening, when the husband came back, he saw that the vacuum cleaner had not only been assembled, it had also been used. So he thought that my wife has done it, maybe she's smarter than me, and so she's been able to put it together. When the wife came home, he asked her, "How did you do it?" And what did she tell him? "I did not do it." So who could have done it? Who could have done it? The maidservant, yes. Next day morning, when the maidservant came, they asked the maidservant, did you actually put this together? Now the maidservant was very afraid. She thought that she had done something wrong. And she with a little bit of apprehension, she said, yes, I did. So then the husband asked her, but this is rather complicated and you don't know how to read or write. Do you know how to read or write? She said, no. Then how did you put it together? So she thought for a moment and she said, sir, if you are not educated, you have to use your brains. So this is when each of you, your parents have cell phones, correct? All your parents have cell phones? Yes or no? Who's their chief consultant? Who teaches them how to use the phones? Most of you, right? The children are the ones who teach their parents to use cell phone. So whenever we do, the example of the maidservant and the example of how you learn to use your cell phone are examples of how we use our intuitive intelligence to learn a lot of things. So not everything can be learned from the book or not everything is learned from a manual. And you will find that many of the life experiences, wherever you are going, wherever you are working, if you do a lot of diverse little things, you will find that you are learning all the time. And this is not something that stops at the end of your school life or your college life. In fact, much of your learning will begin when you start actually applying much of what you have learned in real life, in the work, whatever is the career that you choose to do. So I wish you all the best and I hope that you have a very, very good career ahead. Be brave, be courageous, be slightly crazy because innovation actually comes from people who are a little bit crazy and not trotting the beaten path. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Viswanath. It was a beautiful few moments on critical thinking, the basic reason of education to widen perspectives and apply what we learn. Any questions to Mr. Viswanath, please? Right. Thank you. Generally, Sunday mornings are lazy mornings. We get up late and we tend to relax because we believe that the entire week we have worked very hard. But nice to see so many students here for this session. And I'm sure each one of you here would believe that the Sunday has started off very well for us. And this week is going to be a great week ahead. Got us thinking of something very important in life, that is our passion. What is it that each of us really want to do in life? For most of us here on the panel, except Annapurni, I think we have almost chosen areas which we really are very passionate about. And that's one of the reasons why each of the speakers were able to speak so vehemently and with so much of strength. Annapurni, though young, did the same thing, if you had noticed. She didn't need any preparation. She just stood there and very casually spoke to all of you. That's what passion is. And generally in schools, when we have a variety of activities. And when we ask students today, what interests you? Do you enjoy coming to school? What's your response? Do you all enjoy coming to school? Yeah, this is the general response we get. But this is the time we need to identify our passion. Try to participate in everything that the school throws open to you. And that's where you will identify what you really enjoy doing in life. We can't start doing this once we start working. We need to do it when we are young. It may sound like an advice or a sermon, but the opportunities that are thrown at you must be grabbed. Try it out. Only then we will know whether something in school interests you. Probably at the end, after 12 years, you will say, nothing at school has interested me. But please say it after trying. That's the only piece of thought that I would like to leave with you after such a motivating session that we have had since morning. Thank you.
Miss Annapurni shared her thoughts beautifully on how we have to be unique. Her passion was very truly inspiring. Mr. R. Mohan directed us to pursue the profession in which we have passion. Mr. C.P. Vishwanath made us know learning from books are not applied, but our life experience does. I thank all the resource persons for sharing their valuable time with all of us.
May I request Mrs. Radhika Unni, Principal, SBOA School and Junior College, to honor our guest speakers with memento to show our love and gratitude. To Dr. Sheila Raghavan. A book, memento, and a sapling. To Mr. R. Manoharan. A book, a memento, and a sapling. To Mr. C.P. Vishwanath. A book, a sapling, and a memento. To Miss Annapurni. A book, a sapling, and a memento. Thank you, ma'am.
We shall begin our next session at 11:30.